If you and I were to sit down quietly together, away from the noise of daily distractions, I would tell you that the difference between a fulfilled life and a life of frustration lies in 10 timeless habits that shape your future. These aren't new or mysterious, they're principles as old as time, waiting for anyone with the courage to embrace them. And the first habit, the one that opens the door to all the others, is the decision to think. Really think about where you're going. Most people don't do this. They drift. They let circumstances push them about like a leaf in the wind. But you listening right now have the opportunity to choose differently. Decide to think intentionally about what you want, about who you want to be, about where you want your ship to sail. Without that decision, there is no voyage worth taking. You see, it's amazing what happens when a person stops living on autopilot and begins living with purpose. This is the foundation of every other achievement. And while we're reflecting on these ideas together, let me invite you to consider something important. If you find value in these words, if you believe that these timeless habits can help you or someone you care about, then take a moment to subscribe and share this message. When you do that, you're not just supporting this channel. You're declaring to yourself that you're committed to thinking intentionally, to cultivating your own future with wisdom. That single act of subscribing is a promise to keep learning, to keep growing, to keep thinking. Most people avoid thought because it can be uncomfortable. It means confronting your own doubts, your own inconsistencies. It means asking yourself questions that have no easy answers. Where am I going? Why am I doing what I'm doing? Do I really want what I say I want? But this discomfort is a sign you're on the right track. The first timeless habit, then, is purposeful thought. It's the willingness to define a clear and meaningful goal. And remember, success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. It's not the money you earn, not the house you live in, but the journey towards something you have chosen deliberately and worthily. Decide what you want and dedicate yourself to it. This is the first law. Define your purpose clearly. When you commit to this habit, you stop being a passenger in your own life and become the captain of your ship. Imagine that ship leaving the harbor with a clear destination. It may be foggy for most of the voyage, you may not see your port until you're almost upon it. But the captain knows where he's going, and he adjusts his course every day to make sure he arrives. This is what you must do. Choose your destination. Write it down. Carry it with you. Think about it every day. Repeat it to yourself in quiet moments. Your mind will begin to work for you, to bring you ideas and opportunities aligned with that goal. But you must tell it where to go, or it will wander aimlessly. Now let me give you a truth you may not hear often enough. You are right now exactly where you have chosen to be, even if you protest that you never made that choice. Because choosing not to choose is also a choice. The human mind is like fertile soil. It will grow whatever you plant. Plant confusion, you'll reap confusion. Plant clear goals and you'll harvest clear results. That's why this first habit is so essential. It's not optional. It is the price of any worthy success. And when you understand this, you'll see why most people fail to achieve anything of real value. They never truly choose. They never really think. Consider the man who sits before the stove and says, "Give me heat, and then I'll add the wood." Life does not work that way. You must add the wood first. You must choose your goal, commit to it, and feed it with daily thought and energy before you see the warmth of success. This is the law of cause and effect, immutable and universal. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Your clear thought is the cause. Your result is the effect. You cannot get around this. You cannot cheat it, but you can work with it, and when you do, you will begin to see results that seem almost magical. This first habit is not something you do once. It's something you live. Every morning, ask yourself, what do I want? Where am I going? Why am I doing this? Every evening, reflect on how you steered your ship that day. Did you keep your goal in sight? Did you let distractions or fear pull you off course? This is not punishment. It is the discipline of success. And let me remind you, the disciplined life is the only truly free life. Those who will not discipline themselves are doomed to be at the mercy of circumstances, of other people's plans, of fate itself. So as we begin this journey together, I want you to remember this first law clearly, and I want you to write it in the comments below as your personal declaration. Say it boldly. I am the captain of my fate. I choose my destination with clarity and purpose. Make that your commitment today. And as you do, understand that you're setting yourself apart from the crowd. You're joining the 5% who will not drift, who will not conform, who will not live and die without ever knowing what they might have been. Because this is only the beginning. In the next part, we will explore the second timeless habit, one that builds upon this foundation of clear purpose. But for now, commit to this first habit. Let it become a part of you. Think deliberately. Choose wisely. For what you choose today will shape every tomorrow. When you have chosen your destination with clarity, when you have accepted that you are the captain of your own ship, you are ready to cultivate the second timeless habit that will shape your future: mastery of thought. This is no idle phrase, it is the daily conscious discipline of controlling what you allow into your mind. Because once you have chosen your purpose, you will find that the world will test you. Doubt will creep in. Fear will whisper in your ear. Distractions will multiply and tempt you to let go of your vision. Most people fail at this stage because they never learn to guard the gates of their own minds. They let any idea, any complaint, any fear drift in and take root. But the mind, like fertile soil, does not care what is planted. It will grow poison as easily as it will grow corn. You must become the master gardener of your own mind. Pull out the weeds of worry before they spread. Water and nourish thoughts of faith, courage, and possibility. It is not enough to choose your goal once and forget it. You must return to it daily. See it in your mind's eye. Feel the satisfaction of having achieved it. Let it become so real that doubt has no place to live. This is the daily discipline that separates those who succeed from those who only wish. When fear arises, and it will, you must answer it with reason and faith. Ask yourself, is this fear helping me, or is it paralyzing me? Is it true, or is it simply a shadow in my mind? Replace it immediately with the clear vision of your goal. This is the second law of success. Guard your mind with vigilance. Do not allow negative thoughts to take root. Do not entertain gossip, complaint, or fear for long enough to give it life. Surround yourself with people and ideas that strengthen your purpose. Feed your mind with great books, with uplifting conversation, with inspirational truths. Your mind is your most precious possession. It is the only thing that truly sets you apart from the animals of the field. Everything you achieve will first exist in your mind as a thought. Therefore, you must tend it with care, with intention, with love. Imagine for a moment a farmer who plants both corn and poison side by side. He waters them both equally. He gives them both the same sunlight, the same soil, and then he acts surprised when both flourish. The human mind is no different. If you allow both doubt and faith to coexist unchecked, they will both grow, but they will strangle each other in conflict. The farmer must choose. You must choose. Decide what you want to grow, and ruthlessly remove what does not belong. This is your responsibility. No one else can do it for you. Now let me ask you directly, what thoughts have you been allowing to live in your mind? Are they helping you or hindering you? Are they moving you toward your goal or away from it? This is not a rhetorical question. I want you to reflect on it deeply, honestly, because your answer will tell you your future. If you wish to master your destiny, you must first master your thinking. There is no other way. You cannot live a positive, abundant life while nourishing negative, limiting thoughts. You see, the people who achieve great things in this world are not those who never feel fear or doubt. They are those who have trained themselves to think in spite of fear, to choose faith over worry, to replace complaint with action. They are those who have made their minds allies instead of enemies. And you can do the same. It is simply a matter of practice, of daily discipline. Every day, choose your thoughts as carefully as you would choose your friends. Dismiss those that do not serve you. Invite in those that strengthen you. This is why I want you to make a declaration now, one that you will carry with you as a daily reminder. Write it in the comments below as your public commitment. I am the master of my mind. I nurture thoughts that build my future. Let that be your promise, your mantra, your habit. For thoughts become things. Ideas become actions. Actions become habits. Habits become character. And character shapes destiny. This is not poetic fancy. It is a law as real as gravity. You cannot see gravity, but you know it exists because you see its effects. Likewise, you may not see thoughts, but you will see their effects in your life, in your results, in your happiness. Understand this deeply. Do not be casual about what you think, for your mind is the engine of your success, the forge of your future. Master it, and you master life itself. And so I leave you with this second habit. Guard your mind. Nourish it with purpose, feed it with faith. Refuse entry to anything that weakens or distracts. Make this your daily practice, for in mastering your thoughts you will build the life you have chosen. This is not theory, it is the path walked by every person who has ever achieved anything worthwhile. Choose to walk it yourself. Let us continue this journey into the architecture of your mind by talking about the next indispensable habit of timeless success, the cultivation of imagination. You see, imagination is not child's play, it is the workshop of the mind. It is the blueprint room where every invention, every business, every achievement is first drafted. The average person underestimates this gift and lets it wither from disuse, content to see only what is, never what could be. But the person who achieves lasting success understands that imagination is the first step in creation. Everything you see around you that was made by human hands existed first as an idea, a vision in someone's mind. That is the creative power you possess, whether you recognize it or not. Consider this truth carefully. The mind cannot distinguish between what is vividly imagined and what is real. When you imagine your goal clearly in rich detail, you are programming your subconscious to seek it out, to move you toward it, to make decisions in alignment with it, even when you're not aware of it. This is why you must not only set a goal, but see it in your mind's eye daily. Picture it as already achieved. Feel the emotions of its fulfillment. Smell the air in that new home. Hear the laughter of a happy family. See your name on the office door. Experience the life you want as if it were present. This is not fantasy, it is preparation. It is rehearsal for reality. Understand this well. Your subconscious mind is the engine of your actions. It works tirelessly beneath your awareness to turn your dominant thoughts into reality. But it does not judge, it does not edit, it simply follows the instructions you give it. If you feed it confusion, it will deliver confusion. If you feed it fear, it will deliver obstacles. But if you feed it clarity and faith, it will deliver ideas, energy, and opportunity. Imagination is the language you use to give it those instructions. It is the act of choosing the seeds you will plant in your mental soil. That is why I want you to dedicate time every single day to imagining your goal as clearly and vividly as you can. Make it your private ritual. Let it be the last thing you see at night and the first thing you see in the morning. For in those moments when the mind is relaxed and receptive, your instructions sink most deeply. Do not dismiss this as foolish or childish. The greatest achievers in history, scientists, artists, business leaders, explorers, have all used imagination as their most powerful tool. It is not optional, it is essential, and it is yours to use freely. But I must warn you, imagination is a two-edged sword. Left unguarded, it will also conjure worries, fears, and worst-case scenarios. It will create detailed visions of failure and humiliation that can paralyze you. You must take control of this faculty, train it to serve you. When fear arises, use imagination to see yourself overcoming it. When doubt whispers, imagine proof of your success. You cannot simply suppress negative thoughts. You must replace them with positive, empowering images. This is your task. This is your power. Now let me ask you directly. How much time have you truly spent imagining your goal in detail? Have you given this essential work the attention it deserves? Or have you let your mind drift, untrained and undisciplined, to whatever worry or distraction the world offers? This is not condemnation. It is a challenge, because you cannot change what you will not confront. Today, make a new commitment. Choose to use your imagination as a tool for success rather than a weapon of self-sabotage. Let it become the artist that paints the masterpiece of your future. I want you to take this declaration seriously. If you are committed to mastering your imagination, write this in the comments now. I see my future clearly. I build it daily in my mind. Let that be your public promise, your line in the sand. Because the act of declaring it strengthens your resolve. It moves you from wishing to willing, from hoping to acting. It says you are ready to do the work, to create the blueprint that will guide your every step. This is the third habit of timeless success. Cultivate your imagination with discipline and purpose. See your goal daily. Feel it. Live it in your mind until it becomes an undeniable truth. Because what the mind can see clearly, the mind will find a way to achieve. This is not magic. It is not luck. It is the natural law of the human mind. As you think, so shall you become. As you imagine, so shall you create. Never forget this, for it is the secret known to all who have shaped their own destiny. Now that you understand the power of imagination, let us turn to the next unbreakable law of timeless success, the law of service. This is perhaps the most misunderstood of all success principles, yet it lies at the heart of every true and lasting achievement. You see, no man or woman can rise to greatness alone. We are bound together in a web of mutual need and exchange. The rewards you seek, whether they be financial wealth, respect, influence, or peace of mind, are always given in exact proportion to your service to others. This is not merely an economic fact, it is a moral law woven into the fabric of life itself. Think for a moment about anyone you admire for their success. What did they do to achieve it? They served. The great business leader provides jobs and solutions. The doctor brings healing. The artist offers beauty and meaning. The teacher shares knowledge. The inventor solves problems that improve lives. Even the humble clerk who greets customers with kindness is performing a service that brings value to others. And the rewards they receive are in direct proportion to the quality and quantity of that service. This is not opinion, it is law. As you sow, so shall you reap. If you wish to reap abundantly, you must sow abundantly. But many people get this entirely backwards. They sit before the empty fireplace of life and say, "Give me heat, and then I'll add the wood." They expect rewards before they give service. They expect success without sacrifice. And so they grow frustrated, resentful, convinced that the world is unfair. But the world is not unfair. It is perfectly fair. It simply does not negotiate with those who refuse to pay the price. The price of success is service, and it must be paid in advance. There are no exceptions to this law. You must ask yourself honestly, what service am I offering the world? How am I improving the lives of others? How am I making things easier, better, more beautiful, more meaningful for those around me? The answer to these questions will tell you everything you need to know about your future. If you want more, you must become more valuable. You must do more, give more, be more. There is no shortcut, no trick, no secret beyond this. It is the unchanging foundation of all prosperity and happiness. And here is the wonderful truth. There is no limit to how much you can serve. There is no ceiling on how much you can improve, innovate, care, or create. The only limits are those you impose on yourself through fear, laziness, or ignorance. And when you truly grasp this, you realize that your future is entirely in your own hands. You will never again see yourself as a victim of circumstances or the whims of fortune. Instead, you will see yourself as the architect of your own success, building it daily through service. This is not a burden, it is a privilege, because the person who serves well not only gains materially, but is enriched spiritually. Service gives life meaning. It creates connection, gratitude, respect, and love. The person who commits to serving others finds joy that cannot be bought, peace that cannot be shaken, and a purpose that cannot be stolen. It is the surest path not just to success, but to significance. I want you to take this seriously. Make it your own. Declare it now in the comments below as your promise to yourself and to the world. I serve with excellence. My success is built on the value I give. Let those words guide you. Let them become the measure of every action you take. When you make decisions, ask yourself, does this add value? Does this improve someone's life? Does this honor the trust others place in me? If the answer is yes, proceed boldly. If the answer is no, have the courage to change course. This is the fourth habit of timeless success. Commit to service as the foundation of your life. Make it the standard by which you measure yourself. Understand that every dollar you earn, every relationship you build, every goal you achieve will be the direct result of the service you provide. And remember always, you cannot cheat this law. You cannot avoid it or bargain with it, but you can embrace it, and in doing so, unlock a life of abundance, peace, and deep, lasting fulfillment. Now that you understand the law of service, let us turn to another unshakable truth of timeless success, the habit of persistent action. Because you can have a clear goal, a disciplined mind, a vivid imagination, and a commitment to serve. But if you do not act, if you do not move, if you do not do the work day in and day out, all of it is nothing more than a dream that will wither and die in your mind. Action is the bridge between thought and reality. It is the only way anything of value has ever been created in this world. Without action, your vision remains a ghost. With action, it becomes flesh and bone. Consider this carefully. Most people wait for perfect conditions before they begin. They wait for more knowledge, more confidence, more support, or more certainty. but perfect conditions do not exist. The person who succeeds is the one who acts in spite of imperfection, who starts before they feel ready, who steps forward even when the path is unclear. Because action itself creates clarity. It is only by moving that you discover the way. It is only by trying that you learn what works and what does not. Inaction is the breeding ground of fear and doubt, but action breeds confidence and momentum. Think of a great river. It is always moving, always flowing toward its goal. It may encounter rocks, bends, even obstacles that force it to change course, but it does not stop. It does not wait for the rocks to move themselves. It simply flows around them, and eventually it reaches the sea. Your life must be the same. Obstacles are not signals to stop, but opportunities to grow, to adapt, to demonstrate your commitment. Because the path to success is not straight, it is littered with setbacks, failures, and disappointments. These are not signs of defeat, but invitations to learn, to improve, to prove to yourself that you truly want what you claim to desire. Let me tell you plainly, persistence is not just one quality among many. It is the master quality, the ability to keep going when others stop, to get up one more time than you are knocked down, to keep working even when the results are slow to appear. This is the trait that distinguishes the 5% who succeed from the 95% who do not. Because talent is common, ideas are cheap, but persistence is rare. It is the willingness to pay the price, to keep showing up, to do the unglamorous work day after day, year after year, until the goal is achieved. But do not mistake this for blind, unthinking labor. True persistence is intelligent. It learns from each setback. It adapts, adjusts, improves. It asks, what can I do better? What lesson is here for me? It does not complain or blame. It takes full responsibility, and in doing so, it gains mastery over circumstance, because the world cannot resist the person who refuses to give up. There is no wall that persistence cannot wear down, no obstacle that can permanently withstand its patient, determined force. I want you to understand this deeply. Your goal is not something you will reach in a single leap. It is the result of thousands of small, consistent actions, daily habits, tiny decisions, quiet sacrifices. You will not always see progress immediately. Sometimes you will feel stuck, unappreciated, unnoticed. But know this, every effort matters, every step counts. Even when you cannot see the result, you are laying the foundation. You are building the character, the skills, the understanding that will one day deliver your dream. So I ask you now, are you willing to persist? Are you willing to keep going when it is hard, when you are tired, when others doubt you, when even you doubt yourself? This is the true test. This is the price of admission to the life you want, and it is a price only you can pay. If you are ready, declare it now in the comments below. I persist until I succeed. I never give up. Make this your vow, because once you make that commitment, truly make it, there is nothing you cannot achieve. This is the 5th habit of timeless success. Take persistent, intelligent action. Move every day in the direction of your goal. Adapt when needed. Learn from failure. And above all, refuse to quit. Because success does not go to the talented, the lucky, or the well-connected. It goes to the one who simply will not be denied. And that can be you if you choose it. Now that you understand the power of persistent action, let us speak of another pillar of timeless success, the practice of self-reflection. You see, too many people move through life without ever truly examining themselves. They work hard, they keep busy, they chase goals, but they do not pause to ask the most important questions. Am I growing? Am I learning? Am I better today than I was yesterday? Without self-reflection, even the most determined action can become aimless, wasteful, or even destructive. Because action without understanding is like a ship at full speed with no compass. It is movement, yes, but to where? Success is not merely the result of doing more. It is the result of doing better. And doing better requires us to know ourselves deeply. It means taking time regularly to sit quietly with our thoughts, to review our goals, our actions, our motives, to ask, what worked today, what didn't? Where did I show courage? Where did I give in to fear? Where did I serve well? Where did I fall short? This is not an exercise in guilt or shame. It is the practice of growth, because what you see clearly you can improve. What you ignore will continue to control you. Most people avoid this kind of honest self-examination because it can be uncomfortable. It reveals weaknesses, mistakes, and blind spots. But this discomfort is the price of mastery. Just as an athlete reviews game footage to see where they can improve, you must review the footage of your own life. You must be willing to see yourself as you truly are, not as you wish you were, because only then can you begin the work of becoming who you want to be. This is the path of all who seek true success. They are not afraid to look at themselves honestly, to admit where they need to change, and to commit to that change daily. Let me tell you this plainly. No one can do this work for you. You can have the best mentor, the greatest resources, the clearest goal, but if you will not look within, if you will not hold yourself accountable, you will always be limited by the change you refuse to see. Self-reflection is the key that unlocks those chains. It is the light that reveals the hidden obstacles in your path. It is the mirror that shows you not only your flaws, but your incredible potential. Because when you see yourself clearly, you realize that you are not fixed, not limited, not doomed to repeat the same mistakes. You are a work in progress, capable of change, growth, and greatness. This is why I urge you to make self-reflection a daily habit. It need not take hours. Even 10 quiet minutes at the end of each day can transform your life. Sit quietly. Review your actions. Be honest about where you fell short, but also celebrate where you succeeded. Ask yourself, what can I do better tomorrow? And then commit to that improvement. Over time, these small adjustments compound into massive change. They sharpen your focus, strengthen your character, and align your actions with your deepest values and goals. Understand this clearly. The unexamined life is a life of drift. It is a life at the mercy of habit, impulse, and the opinions of others. But the examined life is a life of choice. It is a life lived deliberately, consciously, with purpose and integrity. It is a life of freedom. Because you are no longer a slave to what you refuse to see, you become the master of your own destiny, shaping yourself day by day into the person you have chosen to be. So I challenge you now. Begin today. Make time tonight to sit quietly with yourself. Ask the hard questions. Listen to the honest answers. And then choose to improve, even if only by one small step. Do this every day, and you will become unstoppable. Because no obstacle is insurmountable to the person who is willing to learn, to adapt, and to grow. If you are committed to this practice, declare it now in the comments below. I reflect daily. I grow without limits. Let that be your promise, your mantra, your habit. For in self-reflection lies the power to transform not only your results, but your very self. This is the sixth habit of timeless success. Make self-reflection a daily ritual. Know yourself, improve yourself, and in doing so, create the life you truly desire. Now that you have embraced the habit of self-reflection, let us explore yet another vital principle of timeless success, the discipline of planning. You see, intention without direction is wasted. Effort without strategy is inefficient. It is not enough to know what you want, to think about it positively, to imagine it vividly, to act persistently, or even to reflect honestly. You must also plan deliberately. You must take the vast, formless possibility of your dreams and shape it into a structured path of daily, weekly, monthly actions that lead inexorably toward its achievement. This is where many people fail. They know what they want, but they do not chart the course to get there. They hope that desire alone will carry them, but hope is not a strategy. Think about a master builder. Before he lays a single brick, he has a blueprint. Before a ship sails, the captain plots a course. Before an artist paints, she sketches her vision. Success in any field is the same. It begins with planning. Planning is the translation of vision into action. It is the process by which your goals become attainable. Without a plan, you are at the mercy of chance, circumstance, and the agendas of other people. With a plan, you take control. You direct your time, your energy, your resources toward your purpose. You become intentional in everything you do. Planning does not guarantee that everything will go smoothly. In fact, no plan survives contact with reality unchanged. But that is not its purpose. A plan is not a rigid prison. It is a guiding framework, a living document that evolves as you gain experience and face new challenges. The value of planning lies not in its perfection, but in its power to focus your mind and align your actions. It forces you to think ahead, to anticipate obstacles, to consider alternatives. It transforms vague wishes into clear steps. Let me be clear. Planning is not complicated. It does not require special talent or education. It requires only willingness. willingness to sit down quietly, to think deeply, to write honestly. Begin with your ultimate goal. Define it clearly. Then work backward. What must happen in 5 years to make it real? In 1 year? In 6 months? In 1 month? What must you do this week? Today? This is how dreams become reality. One small, clear, intentional action at a time. But most people will not do this. They will say it is too much trouble. They will say they don't know how. They will say they don't have time. And so they remain at the mercy of circumstance. They drift from day to day, working hard but aimlessly, reacting instead of creating. Their energy is scattered, their focus lost, their potential wasted. But not you, because you are here, because you know that to live without a plan is to surrender your life to chance, and you refuse to do that any longer. Understand this truth. Every minute you spend planning saves 10 in execution. Every clear goal you define makes your efforts more effective. Every obstacle you anticipate prepares you to overcome it. Planning is not wasted time, it is the highest use of your mind. It is the mark of leadership over your own life, and it is a habit you must cultivate daily. Each morning review your plan. Each evening reflect on your progress. Adjust as needed, but never lose sight of the destination. I want you to take this seriously. I want you to commit to it now. Write in the comments below as your promise, I plan my success. I live with intention. Make this declaration your guide. Because when you plan your life, you claim your life. You claim your life. You say to the world, I am not a passenger. I am the captain. I am not a victim of fate. I am the architect of my destiny. This is the 7th habit of timeless success. Make planning a daily discipline. Chart your course, define your steps, align your actions with your dreams. Because the future does not belong to those who wait. It belongs to those who prepare. It belongs to those who plan. And it can belong to you if you choose it. And now, as we reach the final part of this journey together, let us speak of the last essential habit of timeless success, the practice of faith. For without faith, all your plans, your imagination, your service, your action, your reflection, and your discipline will falter at the first real test. Faith is the unseen force that sustains you when the path grows dark, when progress is slow, when doubts whisper that you will fail. It is the conviction that there is a power greater than yourself working with you, through you, and for you. That you were made for a purpose, and that purpose can be fulfilled if you will only persist and believe. You see, faith is not blind. It is not the denial of reality or the refusal to see obstacles. Rather, it is the insistence that those obstacles are not the end of the story. That within every challenge lies the seed of growth. That setbacks are lessons, not verdicts. That failure is feedback, not fate. Faith is the choice to see possibility where others see only limitation. To act with courage even when the outcome is uncertain. To hold fast to your vision even when there is no evidence yet that it will become real. It is the power to say, I will not give up. Not because success is guaranteed, but because giving up guarantees failure. This is why faith must be cultivated daily. Because the world is full of voices that will tell you to stop dreaming. That you are not enough. That success is reserved for others. These voices may come from strangers, from friends, even from family. But the most dangerous voice is the one inside your own mind that says, I can't. Faith is the answer to that voice. It says, I can and I will. It says, I may not know how yet, but I will find a way. It says, I am not alone in this. There is a law, a principle, a divine intelligence that responds to my belief, that rewards my persistence, that honors my service. Let me remind you of a truth that is echoed through every sacred text and every philosophy worth remembering. As you believe, so shall it be done unto you. What you believe about yourself becomes the ceiling of your potential. What you expect from life becomes what you will accept. If you believe you are destined to fail, you will act in ways that ensure it. If you believe you are worthy of success, you will find the strength to pursue it. This is not superstition. It is psychology. It is the operating principle of the human mind, and it is as dependable as the law of gravity. But understand this well. Faith without works is dead. Belief must be proven through action. You cannot simply sit in a chair and wish for success. You must rise, plan, act, serve, persist, reflect, and adjust. You must do the work with the conviction that it matters, that it is leading somewhere, that it will bear fruit in due time. Faith is not an excuse for inaction. It is the fuel for consistent, determined effort. It is what keeps you moving when others stop. It is what helps you see the invisible bridge when you come to the edge of the known world. So I challenge you now to make faith part of your daily practice. Begin each day with a moment of quiet affirmation. Repeat to yourself not empty platitudes, but commitments of belief. Say, I am capable, I am worthy, I am prepared, I am guided, I am grateful. Feed your mind with thoughts that strengthen you. Reject thoughts that weaken you. Surround yourself with people who believe in possibility. Read books that uplift and instruct you. Fill your environment with reminders of what you are working toward. Guard your faith as you would guard your most precious treasure. Because in the end, that is what it is. Faith is the treasure that no one can steal from you. It is the source of your resilience, your creativity, your vision, and your joy. It is the quiet certainty that even if you cannot see the way, there is a way. That you are being prepared for something greater than you can yet imagine. That your dreams are not foolish, but the blueprint of your destiny. This is the 8th and final habit of timeless success. Live with unshakable faith. For with faith, all things are possible. If you are ready to claim this for yourself, to live not as one who doubts, but as one who believes, I want you to declare it now in the comments below. I believe in myself. I trust the path. I have unbreakable faith. Let this be your final promise in this series, your testament to yourself and to the world, that you will not let fear, doubt, or difficulty deter you from the life you were meant to live. And if you found value in these words, if this journey has inspired or challenged you, I ask you now to share it with someone who needs to hear it. Like it, subscribe, comment with your commitment. Let us spread this message of deliberate, disciplined, purpose-driven living. Because the world needs more people who are awake, aware, and determined to create their own destiny. Your engagement is not just support for this message, it is your way of saying you stand for these truths, that you are part of this rare and committed minority. This concludes our time together in this series, but remember, this is not the end. It is the beginning. The beginning of a new way of thinking, a new way of living, a new way of being. You have everything you need within you to create a life of success, service, peace, and meaning. Now go and live it boldly.